Ladies and gentlemen, from Oklahoma City, Mr. Zach Bryan.
Wake me up when the season's gone, 'cause I've wasted all my dawns on you. So what do I do? Oh, what do I do? I get fucked up just 'cause I'm scared. Love's just another drug I have grown a victim to.
Sorry about the language there. Cut it out, Zach.
So what do I do? Oh, what do I do? All is fair in love and war. So what the
All
hell
right.
are we even
Enough jacking around. Welcome to the Connie G Show, everybody. My name is Conrad. How are you, buddy? I'm sorry. I sometimes get addicted to playing with the board, pressing the buttons to make you sound like a robot or on a megaphone. Like you're the MC of some sort of country, singer guy that, is pretty popular right now. Whatever. Let's pretend. Enjoy it. Today is the 18th of April, which ding dong, I hope you know what that means, buddy. You better got your taxes in today. Yep, the federal government and the states followed suit, and they agreed that you guys get 3 extra days to get your taxes done, and I hope you did, and I hope you mailed them off today or e-filed, or, you took the TurboTax H&R Block Challenge. Can I get it done in 45 minutes? Can I get my whole financial year put together in less than half an hour before the DiGiorno gets done? Huh? Did you, buddy? I hope so. Hope you got all the money back, and I hope you have 100 kids and you get a tax write-off for credit or however that works. Whatever it is. So yeah, that's the 18th, basically, today. I did get my thank you for joining me today on the Connie G Show. Thank you all for also subscribing to the OK Taco Club on Patreon. Thank you to the OK Taco Club for allowing me to sit in their studios and record this. I really appreciate it. And the only way that we get any support financially for that is when you guys subscribe or pledge on Patreon. And we had a number of new people that did that. So thank you. I would say their names. One was Paige. So thank you, Paige. And Katie was on there, and then there's the old school guys that have been sticking around for a long time, the Steves and the Chris's, and you know who you are. So thank you guys. Continue, whatever that be, $5, $10 a month. Both of them are appreciated. As you guys know, I'm using it to invest in cryptocurrency via the PayPal app, and right now, I want to thank you guys for all the donations over the past few years. I'm down. Crypto is down. I don't know anything about it. I don't do any research on it. And all I know is that at one point it was up. And so I'm hoping it gets there again. When people say, "Hey, have you seen that crypto's up?" I'm like, I'm going to check and then I'll be fine. Right now I'm down. And it's not because of you guys. That's all my decision. I could have took the money out of Patreon and bought drug with it, or bought drug for a kid, or whatever. I could have bought formula when that formula shortage was going on, and I could have freaking did that thing where people buy all of it, and then put it in their own shop and sell it for 10 times the price. I could have done that, just to make some extra scratch. But I decided to keep it right there where you guys sent it. And it was easy enough just to move it into that digital world, and I put it right there in that crypto. So when Elon Musk finally craps a Bitcoin or whatever, however that works, has to sneeze like an Ethereum booger in order for the stock to go up? Whatever he does, I'll be right there and I'll be clapping when that happens, because whatever. I'll have money then, I guess. I don't know what that means. I'll have crypto money. So yeah, anyways, thank you for subscribing. That's a long way of saying it. And continue, because it's appreciated. And we're going to go, and we're going to do some fun stuff tonight, because, sometimes I'm in the mood. I just got my taxes done. I was going to say that. We did get them done personally. My wife she she finally put that saddle on that beautiful horse that I kept putting in the corral. You know what I mean? I called this horse Responsibility. That was the name of it. And I rode one right there next to it. It was one of them kind of horses where you put the lasso around its neck and the cowboy rides his horse, but he pulls that other horse. And as a viewer, when you're watching the cowboy movie, you're like, how the hell long are you going to pull that horse? You know, is it a backup? Because it's doing just as much walking, sir. And you put all your guns and bags on that horse. So it's probably tired also. But, that's probably the same thing with my wife. So this horse was walking around the corral since we've been married. And I'd be on mine saying, hey, get on your horse. Let's go see what this whole tax situation's all about. She's like, no, you ride over there. I'm going to stay over here and do, I'm going to do this. And she was always doing something. So finally, she got on that horse, and then I knew what happened. She'd be one of them people that has the dancing horses, the ones that can pop and lock, the ones that can jump over the, you seen them people that wear the big old long black boots and the tiny little tan pants? I knew that's the kind of, once she got on her horse, I'm the kind of guy that rides, I'm like that. I got like the broken down Budweiser horse, the one that they were like, just shoot it. And it's like, no, somebody might want it. And I'm like, yeah, I'll take it. That's my horse. And I was riding it and I was saying, listen, I think this horse is broke. And my wife's like, no, it's fine. I'm like, no, yours looks better. And it was. And she got on it and the taxes were great. She wanted me to double check them like it matters. She missed a few things, like when I bought the truck and stuff like that. But she argued it so well that I almost just let it slide. That's how, just real proud. It's a proud husband moment, or because it opens up a whole new world that, like the frickin' Pocahontas said, a whole new world. The song. It opens that up though, because now you're in the world of, oh, you do something that most people don't do, and you're really good at it. So who knows where it can be as small a world or as big a world as she now wants it to be, now that she kind of understands how a lot of that works. And she would probably laugh and say she doesn't understand any of it. That means you get it. When you're doing something and you get done, you're like, I have no idea what I just did. That's taxes. That's what I'm saying. That's book work. That's doing book work. Because nobody knows. It's so confusing. It's so overwhelming. The literacy rate in this country is not near what it should be on the teeter-totter of the responsibility that's required to do taxes. Listen, if I'm required to do taxes, you should be required to make sure I can read the damn thing. That's where my taxes go, I thought. But that's a different argument. I don't want to get into that. So anyways, ours are done. I hope you guys filed an extension or did yours or whatever. Or paid some fool to do yours, and I'm sure he did a great job, even though he has no idea what he's doing because it's your life that he's accounting for. But we're going to move off. Happy April 18th is what I wanted to say to you guys. I hope you had a great one. It was windy here, and that happens. Not just here, everywhere, I've heard. And that's okay. I don't mind it, but it does. People don't like getting out in the wind. And when it's as windy, when it is gusty, when you rips your car door off, or when you open your door and like you old McDonald's wrappers blow out and you realize people are like, oh my God, how many cheeseburgers did that person eat? 5,000 McDonald's wrappers just blew out of her door. That's embarrassing. So people don't like opening their door in the wind is what I'm saying to you. And because of that, when you own a place that's primarily takeout, or, if you have the problem is when you serve food so quickly that before they sit down, I'm handing it to, it almost makes them feel like, I guess I should leave. And it's like, no, I mean, you can just eat it and sit here. But, I didn't make you sit here for 40 minutes before you got it. This isn't a Sonic. You know what I mean? So it's right. It's done. It's ready. And here it is. And, so, people don't want to get out in a takeout place. They consider it a takeout place where I work, and that's fine. And so it was a slow day, but that's the part that, that you kind of look forward to if you have a mountain of other projects behind you. And so we put up the new fan in the kitchen, and I've been driving this 1996 GMC. So, ladies, if you're listening and you're thinking, "Uh-oh, is this guy, what is this guy all about?" Yeah, I'm the guy that drives the brown with the topper on the back GMC, baby. That's what I'm talking about. It's a 4-wheel drive, and it looks like it. The Fall Guy truck is basically what it looks like. It's got the big tow mirrors and the gigantic cow guard that I guess you can just hit as many cows as you want with it and it'd be fine. I never understood. I understand in the fact that had this been used on a ranch, a horseless ranch, then yeah, you would want a truck that have a cattle guard on it kind of thing where you push cows with it. I mean, but the guy I bought it from was not a rancher. He lived in the city and he just put that crap on it. It's like, I put that cattle guard front bumper on. I'm like, yeah, why? I don't plan on hitting any cows, man. Like, and I get it as for deer, but there's also a part when you drive something so old that there's times when you're like, man, I wish a deer would just, maybe take this off my hands. But anyways, beautiful truck, and a lot of people get super jealous when I'm driving it, and whatever, I wouldn't call it erotic. It's not an erotic truck, but women, for whatever reason, when you drive a 96 GMC, they're honking and swerving and all that stuff. So anyways, it had been missing the passenger side door handle on the inside, and that's only, my friend Damien is the culprit. It's not really his fault, though, because at some point, somebody took this truck off such a sweet jump that it broke the door hinge, and so the door sags a little bit. So when you pull the handle, nothing really happens because the spring is not strong enough to push the door open. Therefore, you have to put your shoulder into it. Well, Damien, I mean, the boy is tall, the boy is very strong, but he didn't want to push his shoulder into it. He just pulled that handle as hard as he could, ripped it right off the truck, and then held it in front of me and said, "Conrad, I think I broke your truck." And I was like, "You don't have to think, bud. You definitely did. But don't worry. There's a solution." And I got out and opened the door for him. And then we've just been driving around since then with basically a one-door vehicle. It's got one door that's usable. And so I fixed the door and ordered the hinge part and watched a video on how to do it. And so I feel pretty confident on that. Thanks to my friends at YouTube for sending that over. And so we're going to get that going. What I mean is it was a slow day, but it wasn't because there was plenty of stuff to do. Put a tailgate handle on. That happened. So that was a good day. Those are things that needed to be done because we sold our car and my wife is going to drive that truck possibly. And she needs to be able to open the compartments, basically. I mean, that's pretty basic stuff. So I had the time to get all that done. But it's just been busy, which is good. I mean, I have just a million projects to do, and so far I haven't really got to do the fun ones yet. The fun ones I always consider are the ones that are like, have nothing to do with actually making money necessarily. There's no direct correlation. It's just the stuff that you get to do that when somebody finally notices it, they go, I seen that you did that thing over there. It's like I haven't had that time yet for the fun ones. But when you're doing the hard ones or the ones that make money or the crappy ones, it does give you time to think about the fun ones a little bit more. Like the dude, our White Russian machine that we're trying to make in honor of the Big Lebowski. But there's just, and then we got the shower. We got Team Shower that I'm trying to build, which is just a hidden shower here in the taco shop. And it's just really a place for people who are dirty to get clean, is what I'm thinking on that shower. So if you came to work and you're like, I feel like I don't look good. And I'm like, yeah, did you shower? And you're like, oh, no. I'm like, just go hit the showers, bud. And there'd be soaps and maybe even a pumice stone, just all the things you would find in a normal one, but it's just kind of hidden because nobody would think it would be there. It's always been kind of a dream of mine, just to have a workplace where, if necessary, you might end up working late, maybe 10:30, maybe 11:30. There's been times I've been here way past midnight or even all night, and at those times I was really like, this is all fine, except for I wish I could get clean at some point, because there's nothing worse than putting in a 20-hour day, sleeping on the floor of a taco shop and then waking up to do another one and not being able to shower in between. Some people will do what's called a whore's bath, which I've never enjoyed that name, but that's the name they gave it. So, and that's where you dip your hands in the sink and then use them as like skin sponges just to rub your body with that. And then, really it isn't bad. You actually feel pretty good, but it's not the same, I don't think, as a rainfall shower head or something like that, or even like a steam shower. So not that I've ever experienced that. And we're not putting a bidet in, so don't ask. It would interfere with the toilet cam. So, duh. I mean, this isn't Caesar's Palace, so we don't need fountains in our cameras, baby. So, that's it. That's the news on Lake Womanjoski. But I did have a couple. It's not really a complaint. I don't know who I'd complain to on this deal that I noticed the other day. So, my 2 children are pretty awesome, and my wife is also. And so because of that, at a very young age, I forbid, that's maybe not the right word. I would not be that supportive of the shows that were baby talk shows. You know what I mean? I did have a soft spot for that little Canadian bald-headed boy named Caillou from PBS. And Caillou was an awful show, but when you got a miniature Caillou sitting next to you watching a cartoon version of himself, it is fun. And so I watched a lot of Caillou. And that was you learn a lot in that show, even as an adult. I learned a lot of what Canadians do and what Canadians think babies do. And it's some wild shit, I'll tell you. I mean, there's a reason Canada, doesn't have a military. And it has nothing to do with, that bald eagle that's right below them. It has more to do, I think, with you give them guys any kind of artillery, they're going to hurt themselves pretty bad. I mean, they're going to be putting rockets up mooses and putting ice skates on frickin' tanks. I mean, those guys are wild. So Caillou taught me that and just reaffirmed my suspicions that Canada can't be trusted. But there's other shows that were just real. They would just speak to the intelligence of, like a Blue's Clues, man. I mean, sure, everybody liked Mail Time, but the rest of it, do you even remember? No. Because it was basically a show where you would this guy, Steve, would come onto the screen in a stupid striped shirt and be like, does anyone know where the paw print is? Where's Blue? And clearly the paw print is on the lamp behind him. And, if you're sitting there like a kid and you say that, you say, it's on the lamp. The TV can't hear you, dog. I don't want my kids to be that. So I turned off the Blue's Clues, and I just wasn't supportive of it. I would just be like, let's watch something else. Have you heard of Pulp Fiction? No, I haven't. They're not there yet, but getting closer every day. I would want more adult cartoons because I want they won't understand the premises sometimes if they're too adult, and that's good, but they get the timing, the timing of the jokes and the timing of a conversation if you're trying to be humorous. And to me, it's more realistic to watch an episode of The Goldbergs or Bob's Burgers or The Simpsons even than it is to watch Blue's Clues. That's not how life works. Life doesn't work like Blue's Clues. It works more like The Simpsons or Bob's Burgers or The Goldbergs. So I've always been watching those. And because of that, it's more of a adult profile on Hulu, which is an application that you guys feel free to download. It's not free. It's free to download it, but in order to watch it, you have to have a subscription or steal one from a buddy or a neighbor. And I support all that. I'd give you my password. I would do that probably if you private messaged me and I knew who you were. I would probably just, because I have it. No, I'm not bragging. It came with my cell phone. I got Verizon and it came with the Hulu Disney bundle. A lot of people get that bundle. I've come to find out. It's not exclusive. So anyways, I got it. And because of that, it has ads, which I love. You guys know how big a fan I am of the Sky Rizzy ad and the Pepto-Bismol ad. And I mean, they're all medical typically. There's a new one for hers where this person is battling what they're saying is a depression. And she's like just laying in bed like, oh, before I started taking these pills, I was just freaking depressed, you know? And then she's like floats around. And as a bigger gal, I mean, not that matters. They can float too, oftentimes easier. But what I'm saying is, like, it seemed as if maybe there's other things that could be explored aside. I mean, pills are great too. I'm not ever discouraging. Please medicate yourself as much as possible. And if you can do it by talking to an online doctor that's from a different country, that's the way to do it. So if you can get a mind-altering drug, a mood-altering drug that has possibly serious side effects from a doctor you've never met in person from a different land that has no context of the pressures of your world, please continue to drug yourself. That is the right thing to do. And thank you, Hers, for sponsoring today's show. This is the Connie G Show. And if you are feeling depressed, just go to hers.com or hims.com. Not only can you find medication for, mood enhancement, you can also buy wiener drug there if you need that. So, and if you're losing your hair, I know they got that too. So thank you to Hims and Hers for sponsoring today's episode. I really do appreciate it, and thank you. So I hope that was good, Mr. Yeah, that's fine. So anyways, where was I going with all that? Oh, the shower, the stuff to do. Hulu. Okay. The ads. Because we're watching the more adult shows, or tend to be, I guess, adult cartoons with the Bob's Burgers and basically Adult Swim. I think the Cartoon Network. I have no idea where this crap comes from. I just know it's there. And they have a new commercial that I had not seen yet, but it is getting to be that time of year, not just the windy season, but the sunny season that brings all the people to the lakes and the swimming holes and the public pool and all the places that people just you gotta just find a way to cool off when it gets that hot out. That's just human nature. And so people will just start yearning for the water. They just need that water. And so that sun starts crisping on them, and they're just at some point like, dog, we're out of here. Where are you headed? We're going down that slide at that public pool, or we're going to the lake, or we're going to the ocean, or whatever. But they get to the river, and they get naked, and they get in that water because that sun is on them. It's an escape. Bring the beer, bring the wine coolers, bring that big old thing from Hims, get that antidepressant medicine, grab it, hurry, let's go get wet. And there's a lot of companies that this time of year, they understand that that's what's going on. They understand that, like, it's springtime, it's almost summertime, it's end of spring, let's start doing it as a company. So they'll have all their flip-flop commercials and their copper tone commercials and their all that stuff. And so you get to realize the mini dresses are out and the shorts are out, and dudes are rocking the tank tops and the aviators and everything else. All that's going on. Okay. But what happens when you do hit that beach? And that's why you got to have a commercial for this. Because here's the problem, guys. And it happens every year to every person. You go to the beach and it's like, what am I going to wear? And of course, you're just too busy. And so you think, I'll just wear my normal, stupid clothes. I'll wear my freaking Red Lobster shirt and my slacks, and I'm just going to go straight from work, from Red Lobster, straight over there. That's what I'm going to, straight to the beach. And you get there and you take your clothes off and you put your bikini on, and what the heck is wrong with you? You look down and you say, what the heck did I forget? Uh-oh. It looks like somebody stuffed Howie Mandel into the front of my bikini. Why didn't I remember? Why wasn't there a commercial to remind me that it's bikini season and I should shave Howie Mandel out of there? Well, good news. Venus, not the planet. Venus, the razor company. Venus, the razor company that rhymes with, you get it, Venus, dog. Starts with a V. And they decided to just say, screw it. You know, we've been showing women shave their legs or singing in the shower or the silhouette of a woman in a shower on our ads for years. And then we go to the beach, and I'm the CEO of Venus, and every time I get to the beach, I see a bunch of people showing up in their Red Lobster uniforms and coming out of the changing room with big old Howie Mandels. And I'm sick of it. I'm sick of it. And so this CEO of Venus, he or she went to it could be a trans person, could be a total transgender person. Doesn't matter. They were fed up and they went to their marketing department and they said, just show it. And so I'm sitting there, I'm trying to just eat a delicious bowl of chili. And sure, I like to put hair in my chili. No. I'm trying to eat a bowl of chili. And if you called me most evenings and it's like, what are you doing? I'm just trying to heat this chili up. There's a new commercial coming on. No, I'm trying to eat this bowl of chili. And I'm watching a episode of, I think, the Goldbergs or something with Jonah. And, you know, Sky Rizzy comes on, which is a great commercial. But then the next commercial, there's just a woman in her underwear, gray. It's a gray cotton, if you must know, and a sports bra. You see the bottom of the sports bra, and it's mainly underwear, and a Venus razor where it shows her razoring all around her underwear. And that's fine. But why? Why do we don't need to be reminded. I mean, the reminder should be when you got to the beach. That's the reminder. Uh-oh, if you don't like the way that looks, then you'll have to do something about it. It shouldn't be, are we that bad where we have to put it in between episodes of a cartoon? Hey, I know you guys are enjoying this episode of Bob's Burger, but here's a lady shaving her front. Enjoy the rest of the show. It's like, and I don't have a problem with, whatever. I don't care. I've always kind of felt like, those commercials, or it's probably not even commercial. It's a premise in movies where sometimes people would open a door and nothing's on the other side. I kind of just assumed that's what happens when a woman goes into the bathroom. And I'm aware that that's not what happens. I have a daughter and a wife, and there's not much privacy. I don't have a large home, and a lot of times our bathrooms are very much shared. And so I get it, but I still, if I had my, if it was my perfect world, I was going to say my druthers, but I didn't want to sound like I was in my 60s. If I had my druthers. But in a perfect world, yeah, sure, I would love it for my wife to just be like, can you, I'm going to have to use the restroom. Maybe even call it a washroom or a lavatory. I have to go use, I don't like lavatory. I got to, instead it's just, I know too much. I know everything because somebody told me. I was certainly fine. I'm fine with somebody getting up, going to the bathroom, and I just assume they went to the bathroom. They don't have to tell me why they're getting up. They don't have to tell me when they got back why they got up. I'm much on the, I guess, the field of people who are like, when somebody does exit a situation, I will follow them with my eyes or my ears and be like, I wonder where they went. And then I'll hear the bathroom door close and I'll go, oh, they must have had to use the restroom. That's enough for me. I'm a simple guy, you know, and if they come back and I don't ask, and they might get offended, like, did you want to know where I went? No, I assume you went to the bathroom. I did. I had to go to the bathroom. I know because you went. So when you go next time, people, take a gander. Take a little gander mountain at your old body and then think, is there any part of this that I don't want people to see during bikini season? And if there is, take a moment and address that issue. And then we don't have to have the commercial about it, because they're only doing the commercial to remind people, hey, this is not fun for the rest of the world that has to look at it. I guess. I don't know. Keep your eyes down, I guess. It's going to be a hairy one down there at the beach, everybody, so be careful out there, is what I'm trying to say. But yeah, it's been a fun week, and fun's maybe not the right word. It's been fun because my brother is here, and that has a number of challenges, but it also brings the part that is the unexpected. When you get, and I started calling him this today. His name is James, and he's my older brother, but he's always he's either went by Gump or Jim. I call him Jim sometimes, Big Jim, stuff like that. But today I started calling him Thick James, which I think I'm gonna keep. I like Thick James, and when I did, he started dancing, and he's so into hip hop too, which is hilarious, which is fine. I mean, I enjoy the urban poets, as I've been known to call them over the years, but these fellas, you know, if you're a connoisseur of rap music and you know all the artists and the beefs they've had between each other and the different songs that they've all written to diss each other, to, you know, call out each other in their music, you start picking sides and be like, am I a Biggie guy, or am I a Jay-Z guy, or are they the same? Are they the same team? Am I an Eminem guy or a DMX, whatever? And then you can go further. Am I a Tupac and Nas? Or who are you on all these different artists? Who is the king? And I wasn't that familiar with a lot of the catalogs of some of those, but I've been trying to revisit them because some of my favorite things to do recently is to listen to a collection of songs from one of those famous rappers and then start arguing with Thick James about it, you know, because his favorite rapper is DMX. And so to come to work and to be like, man, there's no way DMX is better than Tupac, which there's no way. But it doesn't matter because old Thick James gets real defensive. And he told me that Biggie Smalls was, what did he say? Oh, he hates Matt Damon. So he said Biggie Smalls is the Matt Damon of rap. Oh, and he might be right. He's confident, so he is right. And it's all an opinion anyway, so it doesn't matter. So he is. And just to be that, hey, James, what do you think about Tupac? Oh, he sucks. It is funny. So it's been fun. But I did have to send him home over the weekend, or last week, actually. And he hadn't really told me what he did, because he left, I think, on a Tuesday night or didn't come to work Tuesday and went up to do his doctor's appointment, then came back on Wednesday or that night or something. And so he had mentioned to me that when he was up there, he had went out to dinner with my mom and they'd went to Cheddar's. And I don't know if you guys know what Cheddar's is. I hope you do. It's a made-from-scratch kitchen. You should know. Cheddar's, okay. Cheddar's is been referred to by me before that Cheddar's is Black Applebee's, basically. And Applebee's sucks. Believe me, Cheddar's is where you want to be. If you're wanting to go have, I guess, what a commercialized, an Olive Garden type of dinner, what the menu shows as the photos is exactly what you'll get on your plate. That simple, but and it's good. It's decently, it's good. I mean, it's fine. But if you go to Applebee's to get it, you're gonna get. Applebee's is like, Applebee's is your neighborhood bar and grill, right? That's what they claim to be. But anybody that wants to go to a bar will go to a bar, and anybody that wants to go to a neighborhood grill will go to a neighborhood grill. The only people that go to Applebee's are people who don't know who they are or what they want. So they go there and think like, yeah, I just drink at Applebee's now, which is hilarious if you like really went into it that way. But it's more, I think it's more the person who's like the poser, the person who is the accountant that rides motorcycles on the weekend that goes to Applebee's and likes the music, or thinks one of the waitresses likes him. And that's Applebee's. I mean, that is what it is. And you're going to, you'll get your 2 for $20. It's not going to break the bank. You'll get your big old fishbone frickin' margarita, and that's Applebee's. But Cheddar's, Cheddar's is where you want to be, dude. Cheddar's is a church. Cheddar's, if you could put it in dance moves, Applebee's is line dancing. Because there was a time when white people didn't dance at all. It was from the beginning of time when white people finally existed to 1970. That whole time period, a white person never danced. And then at some point, everybody was cool enough with each other to be like, why don't you you should just learn to dance. I mean, if you want to fit in, you should learn to dance, white people. And white people came up with the line dance. And they thought, well, we can stop here. And they all agreed. I mean, as a culture or a race, they all agreed. They all raised their hands like, should we stop? We did it in a line and it's perfect. It's the watermelon crawl. And they're like, really? Should we do more? No. And if you do, keep it in a line. That's white person line dancing. Continue. And then they showed it to people. They're like, hey, come check out our dancing. And those people that could dance were like, you guys don't get it. And that's true. So if Applebee's is line dancing, Cheddar's is twerking. Cheddar's is the stanky leg. Cheddar's is the creep walk or whatever, all that stuff. Cheddar's is the moonwalk. Cheddar's is Usher, dude. Cheddar's is Michael Jackson. Cheddar's can dance. And when you go in there, everything makes you think that. It is just, it's the difference between going to which I can talk about a little bit. I did go to church. Yeah, I'll talk about that for a second. Before I get into Cheddar's. It'll tie together. Yeah, over the weekend, my wife and kids have been going to like Wednesday night Bible school and stuff at this church with, there's some families that my wife teaches their children music, and it's been a way for her to connect with the community and meet people and network. And it's smart when you don't have any people around you that as backup or whatever for things. So you do that. You try to make friends. And she was making friends the right way at a church with these people. And they're all good people. I'm not going to say that they're not. But the big but here, Simone, is this. You go to this. So I said, I'll go with you. We'll go on Sunday. We're not working. I don't have to go back up this weekend. Caleb's going to mow that. And so, yeah, I'll go to church. And so we got dressed up and we went to church, and we sat in the front or near the front to the side of the stage where they had, the bass guitar and the electric drum set and the other guitar, the rhythm guitar, and they had the electric piano, and they had it all out there for, you got to have it. If you're going to praise the Lord, you better have this kind of stuff. And they were doing their songs, and they had the words on the big projector so you could sing along. And, coming from the guilt-ridden, coming from Catholicism, you go in, and I knew that this was kind of what it was going to be because I'd been to a couple others like this. And I'm not saying that it's bad, but the next three speakers, were asking for money to go help people that live in a different part of the world. And I'm not saying that those people don't need help, but I get irritated when that happens when you live in a community where so many people need help in the community. And the same people that are sending each other off to these wild vacations that they call mission trips, where I've heard of everybody going on a mission trip. And it usually is they got drunk one night, or they met a guy one night, or they met a girl one night. And that's church mission trip. Yeah, we went to Brooklyn and built this house with Jimmy Carter, but yeah, I also got syphilis. That is church trip. And I don't like those because it's like, if you just, and I also don't like the part where it is, we need a collection of money, a certain number of monies to be able to send this person to, on behalf of you, go help these other people. And it's like, if they want to go help those other people, they can dig in their own pocket and go help them. Why should the congregation pay? Oh, they got to support. No, they should be supporting the community. And these people's outreach should be a little bit more local, in my opinion. And that's, whatever. People say that. It doesn't matter. It's all good stuff. And they were all very nice. But as I looked around, there wasn't, you can't sit around and talk about how you got to be nice to everybody. Then you look around and there's not everybody represented. There's only one line dancing group represented in this church. That's it. That's all I saw. There might have been one family that can do the Macarena. But other than that, everybody else in there was line dancers. And how can you sit there and say that we need to be nice to your neighbor, be nice to everyone, when we must not be, because there's nobody here that is different than all of us. And I didn't like that feeling, even though part of me, you could just fit in. And then, sometimes I feel like when you want to take the self-responsibility out of things and put it in the hands of a higher power, I think that's like a messed up or mixed up version of the way I look at it. I think the higher power was trying to tell you, like, you can trust in me, but I'm trusting in you to do the right thing because of me, like that kind of thing. Not, if you just trust me, everything's going to work out for you. It's like, that's not how it works. You got to just go do a bunch of hard stuff and help a lot of people, even if they don't look like you. So I didn't really enjoy that part of it. And I don't someday I hope I get over that part where you walk around the church and see what everybody drove. And then that part bothers. I mean, that's the part. And maybe it shouldn't. And I don't care. I don't care if somebody drives a damn Ferrari to church. But I'm going to have my assumptions until I know better. And if that person then gets on the altar and says, I need to give that church money, then it's really tough for me to be convinced. So, I don't know. Anyways, I want my church to be like Cheddar's, is what I'm saying. I want there to be a sense of joy, a sense of soul. Cheddar's has so much soul. because they don't serve biscuits. They don't serve Cheddar Bay biscuits, Red Lobster. What does Cheddar's do? They do croissants, dude. A croissant, I mean, that's just two beautiful bread butt cheeks. That's what they do. Croissants. Dimpled little butt cheeks sitting there, buttered up with that honey butter, and they know it's addictive, this flaky goodness that they're putting on the basket. And people will order just extra croissants. It's like, oh yeah, I'll have a chicken fried steak. Okay. Brown gravy? Of course. You want an extra basket of croissants, don't you? You know what I do. I want that. I want to go to a church where they serve croissants as the Eucharist. That's what they do at Cheddar's. It's basically the Eucharist, and it's beautiful over there. And there's a sense of danger. There should always be a sense that your bill is wrong and that is dangerous a little bit. You should always have to ask if they take credit cards. Or when you say, do you guys take credit cards? They go, that is what you want. Because yeah, we do. Or you want to go to a place that says they give a cash discount because they're so fed up with a 2% fee. I mean, that's great. And that's what Cheddar's is compared to Applebee's. And my brother, Thick James, got to go over there over the weekend, and I was pretty happy about that. Because he's one of those guys that, I mean, as a DMX fan, he really understands it. He really gets it. And so it was good to see him happy about it. And that's rare that he went and got something so delicious from my mom's not, nobody can screw up a visit to, because even if you're not liking the conversation and you sink your mouth into that delicious croissant or their world famous chicken fried steak, or maybe you just got a burger basket, who cares? You're going to love it and you're going to ignore the world around you. But if you're wanting to get a decent meal out of my mother, you better hope you go to Cheddar's, because, the intel that was given to me last night by my other two brothers was that it was fish taco night where my mom lives. And I guess they went over there to enjoy some of that deep sea fish taco. I didn't know if they're doing like trout or tilapia or like, is it farm raised? Like what kind of fish taco is a white fish? I'm sure like a flounder, probably fish taco. No, dude, you keep it real. That's what happens. If you don't know how to properly season and sear tilapia and then fillet the fillet into beautiful white chunks and then put a fresh avocado-based garnish atop it with a little drizzle of something that's got a little kick to it, but a mayo-based drizzle for a delicious fish taco. No, you cook fish sticks, dude. You keep it real. And that's what happened last night is they made fish tacos, which means Vandy Camps got thrown in the oven. Probably a whole package. That's what I'm saying. The whole package of Vandy Camps, the whole box. Crack that box open, and there's no need for a plastic inside that box. When you go to Vandy Camps, and they have all the cereal boxes in their little machine, and you are wearing the hard hat, and you're like, this is my first tour. They're like, yeah, you're the first person to ever ask for a tour of the Vandy Camps fish stick place. And they walk you around and you go, hey, those are the boxes you guys put your shit in. And they're like, yeah. Do you guys put that in plastic first? And they're like, no, not at Vandy Camps. We don't do that. We just put our fish straight into the box. We don't care if the crumbs fall out because boxes tend to have like little gaps and openings. That doesn't bother us. If you're willing to eat fish that's now been sticked, I mean, if you're willing to eat a crumbly stick of fish, you don't care about plastic. We learned that here at Vandy Camps. Keep following me. We're going to head over to the showers. And that's a great place to work. And I want to thank Vandy Camps for sponsoring not only last night's family fish stick taco dinner. I want to thank Vandy Camps for sponsoring this podcast. Thank you guys. And I appreciate they sent me a personalized Vandy Camps rain slicker and that beautiful rain hat, that fisherman's rain cap. So if we have one of them days where it's one of those just sloshy days outside, you can find, I'll be darning the Vandy Camps costume, I'll be that rain slicker guy. I'll be old Slick James, hanging out with Thick James in the rain. So, anyways, I forget. I had one more. Oh, yes. I'll keep it local for just a moment, and then I'll get out of here. It's late. This is after work, and I have to go to bed. And I have to drive home first. I can't just lay down. I guess I could. I'm not going to, though. So, I'm not going to tell you who my source is because I don't want to. I got a little bit of insight, but not really. All I really know is the headline, and it's a national headline. And, from time to time, when I'm not discussing the things that I think are interesting, like rainfall shower heads and cheddars, sometimes I will reference a story that happens. And this one is national news. It was in the New York Post and the Daily Drudge, all the stuff, the slime ball magazines that print salacious headlines to get viewerships and clicks. This story was in them, and it's from a town nearby on Route 66, Wellston, where we've served tacos 3 or 4 times out of the taco truck. Everybody in Wellston's always been real great to us and have nothing but great things to say about Wellston. There's the world-famous Butcher Block Barbecue is over there in Wellston, and if you keep driving a little bit further, you'll hit the Chicken Shack, and that's a famous little stop on Route 66. So love that area and love Wellston. And, I didn't know that in that town, things aren't always great. I could assume so, but what was happening is there was a teacher, a young woman who was just doing her best to teach these kids, and that's tough. A lot of these kids are side-by-side babies. They were born in the back of a side-by-side, okay? And so that's a bouncy birth is what I'm saying, and it shows. And so this teacher's doing her best, and, between vape, the problems with vaping that's going on, she's fighting so many different battles that I think at some point she just gave up, and she's like, screw it. I can't beat them. Why not join them? And so I don't know how far she went with joining these kids, but the headline read that she got in trouble for maybe kissing on a 15-year-old boy that she was the teacher of. And she's 26, guys. And you don't have to go to Wellston arithmetic to understand that's 11 years difference. I don't know when her birth month was, because there could be times when it's only 10 years, but it's still too long. And that kid, sure, at 15, are you, as a male, at 15, are you ready for the kind of commitment that it takes to, engage in those kinds of things? No. Mentally, you're not. You can't be ready at all mentally. But physically, is all you think about mentally about doing that? Yeah, at 15 for a boy. Yep, that's it. So good news is, it sounds like other than the family of the woman, victimless crime. It will be spun and spun and spun, and who knows? I think the national news is probably done with it. After, I think they call it the next news cycle or 24 hours or whatever. But the local people will get their day at City Hall where they're going to ask a bunch of questions that really have nothing to do with the situation, but try to conflate a bunch of issues into the behavior of this woman and try to somehow make it be disparaging to her spouse and relatives and people that knew her and school system and everything. And that's what we do now. So some woman kisses a 15-year-old and then we want to take the whole school down. And the other teachers are like, hey, we didn't kiss kids or do things with them. Why are you getting mad at us? Like, but you let it happen in your school and you did it and you. It's like, no, you did it, dummy. You did it. You know, if your kid's in there trying to mac on a 26-year-old, what are you doing? It all goes back to that, but nobody wants it. That goes back to personal responsibility. That goes back to, you know, helping your neighbor. And if the only neighbors you ever help are the ones that look exactly like you, then you're not really doing what somebody told you to do if you do believe that somebody's out there telling you to do stuff. So, I don't know. That's just an opinion from some kid that sells tacos and sits around and talks sometimes on a show. So take it for that. Don't try to take it as anything other than that. That's all it is. And could be totally wrong. And all of those people who were worried about their children, their 15 or 16-year-olds possibly getting a chance to kiss a beautiful 26-year-old, I feel for you. You're right. That would be tragic. I hope that doesn't happen. And if you're that concerned about it, don't worry. It probably won't. And that's tough. Because that'll be tough too when it happens, when they're 26 and say, man, I wish I could move out and find somebody. I just don't have any confidence because no girls ever liked me. Yeah, well, you could have been that other boy. You know, the one that kissed the teacher. And then the boy would be like, well, yeah, you mean Jimmy? Yeah, they call him Thick James now. He runs a taco shop. So, anyways, I got to get out of here. But thank you guys for listening. And thank you all for supporting the OK Taco Club's Patreon. Oh, freaking ankle looks swollen. I think it's just most of the blood's on it, or rushed to it, or however that works. So yeah. Anyways, thank you, and we'll be back. I haven't heard from Shannon. He could have died of COVID. He was very sick, very ill, and you know, in the words of Biggie, he was the illest, I guess, and I don't know. So we'll see. But whether or not there's somebody sitting in the chair next to me, I'll just come in and talk to you about Cheddars. That'll be fine. So be nice to everybody. You know, hang out with your neighbors if you want to, and do what you got to do. Take care of your kids. Be nice. That's it. I'll turn back on the music and get out of here. What do we have? I guess it's been playing the whole time. Oh, shoot. Well, we'll go out with what we came in with. Oh, we'll go out with this. Don't let your meatloaf, everybody. Have an okay day.
Young man, tell me, what do you know? You ain't even seen your children grow. Young man, I've been down that way, and you may not listen to a word I say. You got fire and I got time, even though it's no friend of mine. Young man, tell me, what do you see? High in the perch of your hickory tree. Young man, why you moving so fast? The days are long, but they never last. You blow in like a hurricane. Truth be told, I was just the same. treat you well. If you come up short, then I guess I failed.